Globally, there have been predictions of an acute rise in food insecurity due to COVID-19's lingering impacts. But before the pandemic, Nigeria was already on its way to a precarious food security challenge emerging from numerous collaborative elements. According to the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, in 2021, the number of Nigerians who have to struggle to put food on their tables rose from about 25 million to a whopping 50 million. The situation is quite dire. Currently, Nigeria is bearing a heavy weight of stunted children. UNICEF says 5 in 10 children under 5 years in the country suffer from severe malnutrition, including anemia, obesity, and kwashiorkor. Nigeria's food insecurity situation is being provoked by many factors: climate change, sporadic flooding, increasing conflicts between farmers and herders, banditry, kidnapping, and insurgency in Nigeria's agriculture belt. Food inflation rose to 22.95% in the first quarter of 2021. There were extensive price increases across items such as cereals, yam, meat, fish, and fruits. Despite the fact that more than half of the total labor force work in the agricultural sector, local food production has in no way met the demands of the 200 million plus people in the country. Nigeria relies on over 700 billion naira worth of imports to cover its food and agricultural production deficiency, mostly wheat, rice, poultry, fish, food services, and consumer-oriented foods. The devaluation of the naira has also added more pressure on food prices as importers have to grapple with high foreign exchange rates. Nigerian agricultural sector is chronically underfunded and under-mechanized, while farm power among small-scale farmers is largely human or animal-driven and relies on crude tools. Crops rely primarily on rainfall, limiting productivity. Several agricultural schemes have been launched in the last 5 decades to improve the sector. However, very little practical or useful result has come forth from the execution of these schemes. The current administration, in November 2015, launched the Anchors Borrowers Program to boost agricultural production. But in the last 13 months, the cost of vital legumes and cereals has risen by over 98.85% and 99.9% respectively. However, the major cause of the present food insufficiency in Nigeria is the conflict, violence, and organized crime gangs seeking to extort and mutilate farmers in the northern half of the country, which produces a substantial amount of food for the nation. This insecurity has caused many to flee their homes, deserting their farms and livelihood. All of these have translated into a disturbing reduction in the production of grains like maize, soybean, and sesame seed, perishables like pepper, tomatoes, and onions too. To reduce food inflation, experts suggest measures like the selective ban on export and zero import duty on selected food items. Many agree that these will crush the growing price of imported foods. For locally produced foods, strategic security measures need to be enforced in high food production areas to protect farmers and enable safe food production. This goes the same way for the food distribution corridor as well. There has to be a synergy between identified agencies of the government to ensure that food is not only produced locally but also safely distributed. Next, Farmers across the country must be empowered to better manage their harvests. Nigerian farmers experience post-harvest losses annually. This should be eliminated considering the large deficit already existing between the supply and demand for food. As the Professor of Agricultural Engineering at the University of Ibadan, Emilolorun Ayilari said, most of the 33 food silos built across the country are almost empty or now being used for other purposes. Nigeria needs to adopt practicable solutions for its agricultural setbacks. Policymakers must begin to position agricultural policies towards transforming Nigeria's agricultural sector from its subsistence state to a completely mechanized system to help bridge the gap that exists in Nigeria's food systems.